We're going to be solving quadratic equations by graphing. We're actually going to use the graphs that we had on the last set of notes, and we're actually going to write down the solutions for them. So getting started, we have our first example. This first example has 1/4 x squared minus 1 equals 0. It has pulled out the numbers -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. Guys, they would use these numbers hoping to cancel out the fraction. That's why they picked these numbers. Okay? I'm not going to ask you to go through and deal with this, but I need you to think about this, because by the time you get to Algebra 2, you're going to be expected to start thinking about things beyond just putting in the middle numbers and going one up, one down. Since we have a denominator of 4, they're using multiples of that so that you can cancel things out. Alright, let's show you what we mean. When we go through, we're going to start off with every single time pulling out your A, your B, and your C. So we're going to start off with A equals 1/4, B equals 0, and C equals -1. Since the 1/4 is positive, this is going to be a happy parabola. It's going to face up. Notice it does not ask about max or min, but this would have a minimum. Just so we're clear. That's not what it asks for down here. Alright. So when we go to work this out, we're going to use our axis of symmetry by using that opposite of B all over 2A. The opposite of B all over 2A is going to put us at the opposite of 0 all over 2 times 1/4. But guys, it doesn't even matter if it's 0 on top. What's the answer? 0. Just 0. So our axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 0. Okay, notice that's in the middle. That means your vertex is going to come from here. Your vertex is going to be an ordered pair where 0 is the first number. We're going to draw that axis of symmetry on our graph. What kind of line do I put down for an axis of symmetry? Dash. Got to be a dash line. And since it's right there on the axis, you've got to draw it dark enough for me to see it. So you might need to make it a little bit wider than you normally make it when you're doing your dashes, guys, because it's got to be able to be seen even though it's going right through that axis. That's x equals 0. You're going to use these numbers to plug into your table. Do you notice everything is the same that we did the last time to this time? The only thing we didn't do is put a max min. That's the only thing we haven't done so far. That's the only thing different. So let's keep plugging in. 1/4 times -4 squared minus 1. 1/4 times -2 squared minus 1. 1/4 times 0 squared minus 1. 1/4 times 2 squared minus 1. 1/4 times 4 squared minus 1. Guys, just fill in the blank. Wherever the x is, you're replacing it with the numbers that are there for x. Now, it's calculator work. Grab your calculators. You're going to want to put the parentheses in there when you do this. So you're going to type 1 fraction 1/4 times, you need to put a time sign in there, parentheses, -4, parentheses, squared, minus 1 equals. It should give you, don't say it yet, hold on, 16, 4. Is it 3? There we go. So, -4, 3. That's our first point. Do it again. 1/4 times, parentheses, -2, close your parentheses, squared, minus 1. I'm going to do it without. That'd be 4. 1. Is it 0? 0. -2, 0. Now, guys, the next one you shouldn't need a calculator for. What happens to this first part since it's multiplying by 0? This all goes away, so all you're left with is that -1. That's all you're left with. So it's going to be 0, -1. Okay, now, because these are equally spaced on either side of the vertex, they should be the same. These should be the same. Please, 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 look. Look when you do the math. Do they end up being the same? Do the math. See if they are. Do you get 0 for 2? There you go. Do you get 3 for the next one? There we go. So we got 2, 0, and we've got 4, 3. So we're going to graph those points. There are a total of 5 of them. Every single one of them is going to start from the origin. You're going to go left or right first, then you're going to go up or down. -4 means go to the left 4 and then go up a total of 3. -2, 0 means go to the left 2 and go nowhere for up or down. It does not move up or down. It is going to be right here on this axis. The next one is going to be 0, 1, meaning don't go left or right, go down to -1. Guys, if you still struggle with graphing points, that's something you could work on outside of the class in Pyarian tutoring. Get some help somewhere. I can help you with that separately. Do work on just graphing, because you got to be able to graph to be able to do this stuff. Okay, from there, the next one is going to be 2, 0. Starting from the origin, you go to the right 2, don't go up or down. And then 4, 3 is going to be to the right 4 and up 3. Notice this parabola is very different. It is very wide. It's going to be wide and flatter. So it's going to look like this. When you curve it up, it's going to curve out much wider as it goes out here and goes up. Same thing on this side. It's going to go out here and it's going to go up. You're going to write your equation on here. Nope, it's the other way around. Y equals 1/4 x squared minus 1 equals, guys, instead of equaling 0, because that's at a specific spot, what do we put there? What's it always equal to? Someone said it. Y. It's equal to y. You can write it y equals, you can write it like that. I'm not going to take off. You just need to make it equal to y. They put it equal to 0 because that's what they want, is when does it equal 0 for your y. We'll talk about that as the next thing. Okay, we do have a vertex. Our vertex is right here. We know that because we started, we put it in the middle. That was our 1. We already put that it's the point that starts with 0 in it. So it's 0, -1. Finish that out, put that on there, label it on our graph, 0, -1. And then the last thing is, guys, this is exactly like using factoring or the quadratic formula. It's going to give you solutions to the problem. It is going to give you the points where the line crosses the x-axis. When does this line cross the x-axis? At x equals what? Well, guys, look. It's right here. And it's right here. Those are the two spots. Okay, you can also tell because whenever y is equal to 0, then that tells you what the x is going to be. They're right out here. Your two solutions are right there. We could get the answers just like as if we factored it or used the quadratic formula. Those answers are going to give us the solutions to this problem. In this case, they would be what and what? -2 and 2. There you go. Guys, any concerns, questions, anything about it? Wherever it is on the x-axis, guys, see how these points hit at -2 and 2? Those are your solutions. That's what you're trying to find. When does y right here equal 0? Wherever the 0 is in the y, those are your solutions right there. I'm trying to show it to you like several different ways so you can see it. You can get it from the table, you can get it from the graph, doesn't matter. Okay, half your test is this stuff, guys, so let's keep going. So for the next one, we have x squared plus 1, no fraction to deal with this time. They've picked the numbers -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Let's show you why they did that. We're going to pull out our a equals, our b equals, and our c equals. In this case, a equals 1, b equals 0, and c equals 1. This is going to be a happy parabola. It's going to go up. And our formula is the opposite of 0, all over 2 times 1. Guys, no matter what, if 0 is on top, the answer is going to be what? 0. So our axis of symmetry, guys, everything is based on this. 0 is the vertex, the first number. It's going to go right there in the middle. That's why they put it there. We star it. It's also our axis of symmetry, so it's going to be x equals 0. We're going to make that darker because it goes right over that y-axis. If you do not show the axis of symmetry, if you do not graph this, it is going to be points off. I am grading each step on the graph, so that's extremely important that you understand that, and it has to be labeled. You're then going to fill in the information into your chart. When you do, you're using these numbers to plug in. -2 squared plus 1. -1 squared plus 1. 0 squared plus 1. 1 squared plus 1. 2 squared plus 1. Guys, if you need to use a calculator to make sure you don't mess up the arithmetic, do it. You can also sometimes just do it easier without it. -2 times -2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. -1 times -1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 0 squared is going to be 0. And 0 plus 1 is 1. Again, these should match and these should match. Let's see if they do. 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 plus 1 puts you at 5, which they match the way they're supposed to. We've got this pattern going. Excuse me. I write my ordered pairs: -2, 5, -1, 2, 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 5. Okay, everybody gets there. I'm going to give you a minute because everybody writes at a different pace. So I want to make sure everybody gets that table done before we move on. Do you notice something about the y's? Do we ever have y equaling 0? That's going to show up in a minute. It's going to help give you your solutions in a minute. We do have our vertex though. Our vertex is going to come from right here because we said that. So this is our vertex point right here at 0, 1. We're going to go graph all our points. The first one's going to be at -2, 5. That means go to the left 2 and then go up 5. The second one's going to be at -1, 2, which means go to the left 1 and then go up 2, to the left 1 and then up 2. The next one is 0, 1. 0 means don't go left or right, go up to 1. The next one's going to be 1, 2. 1, 2 means go to the right 1 and up 2. To the right 1 and up 2. And then the last one is 2, 5. To the right 2 and up 5. To the right 2 and up 5. This one's really narrow. You'll see when you draw this one, your curve is very steep. It's going to curve up very quickly and go up like this. That makes it y equals x squared plus 1 as the equation, or x squared plus 1 equals y. It doesn't matter. Y'all seem to like the y in front better. And we label our vertex. Our vertex is 0, 1. And then to answer the question, what are the solutions? Guys, listen to me. Does it ever touch the x-axis? So the solutions is that there are no solutions. You put an empty solution box. There's nothing that goes in it. It never touches the x-axis. So there's nothing to write in there. There are no answers where this quadratic is going to cross that x-axis. So the answer is that there are no solutions. So we write the empty braces and that's all we write down. Okay guys, one last problem. Go ahead and pull out your A, your B, and your C. Try to get your vertex, please. Go ahead and pull that out. Try to get your vertex. how y'all do that. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, let me see if I can pull them out. Okay. Did you get 0 as your axis of symmetry? You've got that vertex first number. That's going to be 0. It goes in the middle. Anybody not get there? Everybody sees that B and C are both 0. It's kind of unique. That's why it's in there. We try to do some different ones. From there, that means your axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 0. Now plugging in the numbers is pretty quick. -2 squared, -1 squared, 0 squared, 1 squared, and 2 squared. Goes pretty quickly. What is -2 squared? -1 squared. 0 squared is just going to be 0. 1 squared is going to be 1, and 2 squared is going to be 4. Do y'all see the mirror? Here and here. See how they match? That's what they should do. They don't, you got a problem in your numbers. You see you got 0 right here. So this is going to be your solution. We'll look at it in the graph in a minute too, but just showing you in the table. So let's go ahead and put our ordered pairs. -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. Remember when I told you that when you solved that quadratic formula, when you got 0 as the discriminant, how many answers did you get? 1. Okay. Vertex is 0, 0. Got to draw your axis of symmetry. It's got to be able to be seen, so make sure the dashes are dark enough to be seen on here. You're going to write on there that that's x equals 0. No, it is not 0 every time. It just happened to work out that way on these. I picked the special cases. I tried to do the ones that were more unique, so that's why it ended up that way. From there, we're going to graph our points. -2, 4, to the right 2 and up 4. -1, 1, so to the right 1 and up 1. 0, 0, what point is this called? The origin. The origin is right there. And then 1, 1 is to the right 1 and up 1. And then 2, 4 to the right 2 and up 4. Very similar to our last one as far as the actual picture. Very similar up here. We'll write our equation on there. Y equals x squared. 0, 0 for the vertex. And it's graphed. Notice it only hits the graph in one spot, and that spot happens to be at what number? 0. That is your solution, and is their only solution. It's also right here in the graph. When is y 0? When x is also 0. So that is your solution to the problem. Okay guys, that's your notes today. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, anything about it? That is everything that is going to be on your next test on Tuesday. That's it. Those two sections. Didn't I tell you they were almost identical to each other? The only difference is pulling out the solutions instead of the max or min.